Hello everyone, before we start, if you like weekly stock updates and real portfolio transparency, hit like, subscribe and drop a comment. As always, let me know what's your take on the stock this week. Alright, welcome back to the series where I show you guys how I buy 10 shares of. And now welcome back to the PayPal weekly format, and we are already hitting PayPal number 9, so 9 weeks of me doing this. Soon we are in the double digits when it comes to these weekly updates, and so far I feel it has only really gotten more interesting than ever before. And it feels to me like this is the case every single week. So yeah, let's head right into the comments that we received this week. First of all, really good video with helpful updates on PayPal. Nice to see your own portfolio too. Well done buying at those great prices. They'll be seen as excellent prices going forward. Look forward to the next video. Next video is going to be happening today. Unfortunately, that's going to be released on Monday, so that's a day late. Sorry for that, guys. Hope you guys enjoy nevertheless, since tomorrow we'll be seeing the quarterly results, and I'm very excited for those since they'll be meaning a really big move. It's likely going to be one of the biggest moves we've ever seen with PayPal. If those don't disappoint and are looking good, we might actually see double-digit rise on a single day. That's totally possible. However, with current sentiment being the lowest it has ever been, it could also mean the end of the classic pain pal, since yeah, we can also see even more pain than ever before. So it's not a guaranteed gain, but I personally, unlike most others, I'm very positive when it comes to the next results. However, there are a few things I'm going to be especially curious about, and I'm going to dive more deeper into this later when we get to the outlook. So, next comment from my friend. The thing with Wall Street is that when there's fear around something, their first reaction is to sell. Okay, and I think I got the wrong comment actually. I'm very sorry about that. I didn't notice this up until the end. Let me just check so I do get the right one. Let's see. Yes, okay, so let me see if I can just make a quick snapshot of that. So you guys can have a look. Okay, so he's been saying, I really like your videos, please keep it up. As Roaring Kitty used to say, I like the stock. It's rare that retail gets such a long window to accumulate. Wait a second. Yeah, to accumulate it at such a deep discount. Either I'm completely wrong and missing something obvious and paid a heavy price for it, or I understand the math and know my game. Generating 15 to 20% year-over-year EPS growth here feels very achievable. If even one solid catalyst plays out, it could be much higher than that. Yeah, it goes further. Sorry guys, I just took a quick snapshot. By injecting more into the charts, I mean rotating out of other positions and YOLOing everything into PayPal. Biggest opportunity in the market in my eyes. Doing my part to tighten supply in my own hands. And personally, I couldn't agree more with this comment. I wouldn't YOLO everything into PayPal. I think that's a very bold move. You can do that for sure. But I think that would be quite risky. I also don't even see PayPal as the biggest opportunity in the market, but as the most rational opportunity in the market, because it just looks so good. Like, to me, the downside is very limited with PayPal. Even if this entire company just goes downhill starting from now, like let's say they are not growing at all, and not growing basically means shrinking, since due to inflation and yeah, more young people basically being born on the planet. It basically would mean that the company is shrinking, since just by adjusting for inflation, you already have like a 3 to 5% growth. If you take into account that there's more people that use services like PayPal. So even if we just flatline with everything, like same EPS, same revenue, same earnings, complete flatline over the next 10 years, we still have like a yield of like 10 to 20%, I think, year over year. So looks good to me. Very great opportunity in my opinion. In that regard, we still have the dividend, which they could increase to like, I think right now it's like 10%, which they pay out, so they can just increase that to like 30%. So this way you have like a 3 to 5% dividend yield, which is already pretty good. Then they have lots of profits to buy back shares, so the dividend is only going to increase. So just by that, it's already a safe play. But PayPal isn't shrinking, and they are not just being stagnant either, but they plan on growing, and they plan on growing not by expanding their main business. Sure, they do that too, and they will grow in that regard. No worries about that, no doubts about that. However, they are focusing on the OVAs as well, which is basically the other value-adding services. And in that regard, PayPal can become very, very strong, because so far there is not much to that name. Other than the buy now pay later part, but like the PayPal ads thing, if they guide for that, that's going to be amazing. And if that is being added into the PayPal business, which is very profitable, like all the OVAs, they are usually coupled with huge margins, and if that does hit the truck over the next years, then we can see growth rates of about 10 to 25% year over year. That's totally possible. And if we do see numbers like this, then the valuation is going to be an entirely different story for PayPal. It's easily going to double the what's it called, the price to earnings ratio. Is likely going to quadruple at the very least, in my opinion, over the next couple of years. And that's going to be even higher as well, since earnings are going to rise, sales are going to rise greatly at that. But to see this impact on the numbers, it's going to take time. This isn't going to happen overnight. I would just be happy if they guide for it, or if they give us any kind of intel on this. I'm going to be especially curious about that tomorrow when they release set quarterly results. So I'm really going to do a deep dive into this. But I'm going to be more in depth on the next couple of slides later. So that's something in my mind that I'm going to be taking huge notes of, and it's going to be determining whether I buy more every week, whether I buy less every week, and so on and so forth. So let's have a look into the meme of the week. PayPal partners with OpenAI and Microsoft in January. Management says 2026 is the year of profitable growth. I'm buying the dip at $56 because it can't possibly go lower. And now look at the last slide. So a 52-week low has been hit today. More on this later. This is in the pre-market. Post-market, it's likely going to look a lot better, but as you can see, next slide, this is what we are looking at. So Friday closing price was $52.69. And today on Monday, as I said, I'm a bit late with this video, it's $52.24. So we are hitting new, almost all-time lows, not quite, but almost. In terms of a market cap, it could be an all-time low actually, since PayPal has bought back so many shares, but not quite, almost, but not quite. Share price wise, not looking good at all. But as for me, as I'm buying more stock every single week, this is actually great news. Short term wise looks bad, long term wise the best that can happen to me. So Let's take a look on the purchases, and as you can see, this time around I actually doubled my purchases once again. So last week I bought the highest amount of shares ever, which was 20 shares, and this was mostly to compensate for the 0 shares I bought before. I managed to get a pretty decent price at the time for it, $57, which at the time was really good. And last week the stock price went crazy, and when I say crazy, I mean crazy. It just went completely nuts, went all over the place. I think I've seen almost any kind of price last week. It was so hilarious. I saw $57, I think. I saw 52. Crazy move, like almost a 10% move in a single week. And I actually bought twice. I bought 20 shares at the start of the week because I was thinking, hey, it can't possibly go lower, just like in the meme I showed you. And I bought for like, I think $56. And then on Thursday, I think, I bought another 20 shares, which I got for $54. And in the middle, I completely middled this result. For this full disclosure, I fully middled it. We're at $55.06. This is not going to happen often that I buy twice and then on both times I buy for double the usual amount. However, in this case, I'm very bullish for PayPal, and though usually, like almost every single quarter in the past 12 quarters, PayPal went down 5 days within 5 days after the quarterly results were presented. However, I think in the last 12 quarters, almost every single quarter before the quarterly results were released, we had a small run-up in anticipation for the quarterly results, and usually that run-up was sold off during the quarterly results. This time, though, we didn't have a run-up, we had a run-down. So for once, this could really be, this time everything will be different, like the usual saying could apply in this case, who knows. No, I can't really say for sure, like, as always, no financial advice, as you know. However, I just thought to myself, okay, what would be worse to me if PayPal goes down after the quarterly results, or when it goes up? Like, would it be good to buy into it or not? And in my case, if it were to go up greatly, and I think if they do proper guidance with the intel from Dr. Mark Rather, how the ads business is doing, how it's being done right now, like lots of feeding of information, and if they do like a guidance for it, even if it's just a small number, if we're talking just double-digit millions of dollars for next year, even if it isn't a lot, it could be very meaningful, because that could be a catalyst, and that catalyst can easily shoot PayPal back into the 70 area, and that's like a 50% gain. So I was thinking to myself, okay, if this goes even lower, then we are maybe in the 40s, probably never going to reach the 30s, but I mean, never say never. But to me, if we go into the 40s or 30s even, I'm just going to load up more shares over the coming weeks, so that's good for me. However, if we were to do like a 50% gain over the matter of a couple of days or a week or so, that would be bad, because I wouldn't really be able to properly load up on lots of shares. So I decided I'll do a big purchase this time, which is 40 shares. And if it goes up, great, I'll be happy. Not going to be super happy, since I want to buy more at low prices. But if it's going down, I'm not going to be sad either, since I can just buy more. And I think buying 40 shares at $55 that's like a blessing. That's amazing. Like for me, everything below 70 is a just blind buy. Like I can buy it, no worries. I can just buy it. Doesn't matter at all. Company is super stable. Not perfectly stable, but like it's decently stable. Great results always, no problem. So that's that, and my reasons for buying this much just before the quarterly results. So yeah, as you can see, I'm not just saying all these things that I'm very into the stock, that I'm believing in it, but I'm also putting my money where my mouth is. So I'm actually doubling down or quadrupling down on the stock. So yeah, that's my take. Let's look at the price action. So as you can see, on a weekly basis we went down 7%, which is crazy. That's crazy for stock that has already been down 9% since the start of this show. So in a matter of 1 week we saw almost the same fall off. And I think the sentiment is pretty much at an all-time low. Like, I've never seen people this discouraged about PayPal, which is actually crazy. And yeah, even though it's sad that people feel discouraged, for me, I try to be the rational investor and do my own takes on the stock. And if I feel that's justified, then I will, yeah, just agree, basically. But I feel if it's not justified, then that's, to me, a very good sign, because low sentiment with retail is always a good sign, because that's the time when the big players start loading up their shares in the background. And then it's basically the start of the repricing that's starting to happen. So yeah, sad for those people that decided to sell their stocks recently, especially for those who've held for years maybe, but I mean, I get it. When you're frustrated, you don't want it, and you see better opportunities elsewhere, then you do you. And maybe that's going to play out well for you. But I personally am not doing that. I see this big opportunity here with PayPal, and I'm very convicted that it's going to be a very nice play long-term wise. So despite, yeah, my portfolio isn't down 15%, but I decided to hold myself accountable with these weekly stock updates, and you can see my total gain in the next few slides. But I wanted to hold myself accountable by showing you guys when my first video came out and how it's developed ever since releasing my very first video. So I don't want to be the guy that afterwards just loads up on many shares at a cheap price and then says, oh look, I have this cheap price, even though my first video was at like $62. Don't want to be that guy. So everything will be transparent for you. You can see how we're doing, you can see how the portfolio is doing, and you can see the prices of the time when the video was released. So all that is being taken into account. Next, let's have a look at my portfolio net worth. So net worth is obviously lower than what we invested. So we are at a total loss of $615 so far, and just in the matter of one single week we more than doubled our total loss by $428, which is quite a lot. So the current worth isn't even $7,000. We are just at $6,500 so far. So that's quite low compared to what we invested, but that's to be expected when the stock just goes down even more. So as I said before, I'm bullish. Don't really expect too much of a big move today. The big move is going to happen tomorrow when the quarterly results are going to be seen, and that's where most people will make their decision on what to do in the future. So just a quick look at the dividends. Nothing too important since it's about to change probably tomorrow as well. Unless we won't get any update on this. So 14 cents per share, quarterly basis, 125 shares owned. That leaves us with a $17.50 quarterly dividend, which is around $70 per year, or on a monthly basis, if you were to cut it down, just $5.83. I love the development, but as I said before, things might change tomorrow, so not going to dive too deep into this, but I love seeing this number grow every single week. So let's head into the news. Quarterly results are ahead, big move as well. So as I said before, I personally think we will see a very big move tomorrow. I think this could be double-digit percentage-wise. I think it's going to be a positive move for once. However, it really depends on the numbers. If they're okay and the guidance is great and they guide for the ads business and the branded checkout, then this will be amazing. If the numbers are great and the guidance is trash, they keep rambling about the bad macro and how things are slowing down everything, and they have this pessimistic view almost, which they quite often have, which is a bad thing, then we may even see the stock go even lower. Could be like a 5% move downward. It's totally possible. So something to be mindful of, since PayPal is known to disappoint on quarterly results, especially when they are saying stuff on their earnings calls. So that's something to be aware of. Next. Yeah, PayPal YouTubers are giving up left and right. Sentiment is at all-time low. When you're watching this on YouTube, you may have your favorite YouTuber covering PayPal as well. And oftentimes I've seen videos about PayPal myself, and I feel there's lots of players right now, lots of YouTubers that advocated for PayPal when they were at $80, at $90, at $100, at $110, and they did this at $80, at $70, at $60, at basically every single price point. Some were even more bullish than I was, basically saying PayPal is the next big thing. PayPal is going to overtake everything. And now I've seen that 5 different YouTubers who are all very bullish on YouTube are now either bearish or neutral. So, and I think 3 of them said, or directly said, they're thinking of exiting the position or selling half. So, very interested in that. And I don't even want to comment on what they are saying or the person themselves. I don't want to say anything about them. I'm not judging either. If they decide for themselves that they want to sell, that's cool. But personally, I feel when YouTubers, those that are recommending certain stocks, when they are cutting back, when they are rowing back, when they are not saying, oh, this is a screaming buy, you have to buy, load up, every single share, stuff like this, when they are not saying that anymore, that's a great sign, because that's usually when the sentiment hit an all-time low, and that's usually the best sign to actually buy into the stock. So if you've been on the verge of buying, you may actually have to rethink that and yeah, buy some before the quarterly results. You can do that. You don't have to. You can wait after the numbers. But if those really look great and if they guide properly for the future, then all those YouTubers will shift right away and they'll say, "Oh, I always told you." This is the stock you should be investing in. This is the next best thing. Oh, this quarterly result, this changed everything. Like today, they're saying, oh, I'm not so sure anymore. They did bad. They communicated bad. They did this bad. They did that bad. They are showing weakness. They're doing this. They're doing that. They'll forget all this overnight. And if the numbers look great, they'll say, oh, this is amazing, this changed everything, the PayPal is going to grow, yeah, I bought more, whatever. They'll say total crap. And when it goes lower, they'll say, oh, I told you guys, see my last post, I said, oh, it's going under, it's going bad, I told you I would reprice it, I would sell it, I sold my position now, whatever. So don't take it too much into account. This is for me just a catalyst or a showcase of how the sentiment is doing right now. And when it's at an all-time low, sure, it can go even lower. Like there's no lowest ground for this. We can always go lower when it comes to sentiment. However, I've never seen sentiment this bad. Like this is by far the worst type of sentiment I've ever seen, where basically everybody says sell the stock, sell half, sell everything, communication from the team is bad. Like most of those things that were previously so generously praised by saying, oh, they are so transparent, they're doing this, they're doing that, they do everything, that's the best company. Now they're saying the opposite, basically by saying, oh, they're doing bad, they're not communicating, they blame everything on macros. Like, they're not wrong. PayPal has all these issues, but if PayPal wasn't in a company with issues, the stock price wouldn't be so cheap. Like, obviously there are reasons for why the stock has been going lower every single month, you could almost say, for the past, I don't know, 7 months or so. Like, there are reasons for that, and a part of that reason is that they are usually doing rather pessimistic outlooks, not communicating too well, that there's a huge room for improvement, and that they are not always delivering on their promises. Like, sometimes they promise big stuff, and then there's not really big news of that anymore. So they do need to improve in that regard, and many people, many eyes are looking on the next quarterly results, and that's basically what's been happening. The stock price has been pricing in all these bearish signs, pre-signs from Jamie Miller, but the company itself, them saying, oh, macro is bad, this is bad, that is bad, and them basically giving very intransparent outlooks and guidance, which basically says nothing at all. So when nothing is being said, the stock market tends to price in the more conservative side, which is perfectly fine. And then sometimes even like a margin is priced in on top of that. And that's basically what has been done with PayPal on the past weeks. So there's like a margin of safety on the negative side. And if they do well, we will see a small decent rise. If they do really well and they guide for all these things that haven't been done in the past, we can see the stock explode totally, because all that hasn't been priced in, them being so transparent, them the business doing well, PayPal ads doing well, all these different things. They've been very conservative about that, or basically, yeah, not saying anything at all. So if all of that is being changed, and I feel PayPal as a company, but more importantly the team behind that, Alex, Chris, and all the others, usually they're taking some of these things into account. I'm not sure if they're really active around YouTube, Twitter, and the likes, but it does feel to me that they take notice of the people, the investors, and I do hope that they have been sandbagging a little. I'm not a fan of that, but I do hope that they have something in their mind, something big they can drop, so that would be amazing. Since ultimately, I mean, they have huge share-based compensation, so they must have some sort of interest in the stock rising, hopefully. So that's going to change things, I suppose, hopefully. If nothing good is shown in the next quarter results, then I don't know. Then things are looking really bad. Like, not for the stock. I don't think it's going to go that much lower, and everything's doing well. Like, long term, you can't really go wrong at that price, but well, at least you won't see a big breakout. On the positive, at least. So, next. There's the why behind the downgrades. Basically, lots of competition, checkout wars, all these sorts of things. So, the market is expecting branded checkout to, basically the growth to decline. It positioning even worse than formerly, so market is going to pay attention to that, or it has been on the past quarters. Not sure if it's going to be the biggest number here for this quarter, since people will be well focused on the future for PayPal. The future is what is being traded on the stock market, and so far PayPal today is looking great, but the stock market expects PayPal to do badly in the future due to the competition and checkout wars. So that's the reason why such a repricing in a bad way has been happening. If this looks good, this number looks good, then it's likely going to affect the stock price too. However, guidance for the future years for the several OVA businesses, all that is going to be important, or most important in my mind, even though in the last quarterly results, every single time, the PayPal branded checkout growth was what's the bad thing about that. So let's have a look at the top downgrades. So interesting enough, last week I was checking Yahoo Finance, and they showed me a list of the top downgrades like the ones that were downgraded the most or something. And on that recap, PayPal was being featured as well. I found that very, very funny, because recently things have been very silent about PayPal as a company, but I found this very noteworthy. So it feels like everyone has a bad opinion about PayPal right now. Everyone is downgrading, sentiment is bad. So if you were to believe all these bad news, all these bad intel on PayPal, you'll probably have a bad feeling in your stomach when you're a big shareholder. You're likely to sell, reduce your position, and you're thinking it's going to be going lower. But it's very important to keep a cool head. And yeah, I like to do the opposite of what the market is thinking or feeling, to be more precise. And yeah, I believe in the next result. I hope they deliver on it. I really put my high stakes on Alex Chris. I did buy a few small leaps just to play around, just fun money. Don't recommend doing that, especially for the quarter results with PayPal, because they very much disappoint almost every single time. But I personally did it because I think, okay, if this really skyrockets over the course of a day, then at least I get some capital out of it, which I can reinvest into the stock through this weekly series by doing bigger money injections over the next weeks. Because if the series, if the story really changes, then there won't be that much time anymore to load up. So yeah, that's my take. What I look for and what people in general look for is basically like what to look for is the guidance, the branded checkout growth, basically their news, their intel on features they've been trying to implement, and they've been yeah, silent about, you could say, like Fastlane, PayPal ads. All these things are going to be very important. Since if I remember correctly, a couple of years ago when Fastlane was first mentioned, it was supposed to be free for all those that signed up, and then later it had like a price for all those that signed up after like a longer testing phase, and I think that was starting to hit in 2026. So I'm very interested to see whether they saw any growth with Fastlane, because to me it felt like they were very slow to implement it with as many merchants as possible. So for me, that's very important. Also, what I look for is the dividend. That's very unimportant. That's the least important thing for you guys to look out for in the quarter results. But I, for myself, see it as an interesting thing. So it's not important, but it's interesting to me. So I look out for that as well. What I personally think is very important are the active accounts. So did they grow? Did they stagnate? So are we seeing the same number as last quarter? Is it higher? Is it lower? Is it lower? If it's the same, it's slightly bearish. If it's lower, it's very bearish. That could be a reason for PayPal to crash. If it's higher, that's slightly bullish. If it's just like 1 million more or something, slightly bullish for sure, that would be great. So I'd love to see that, since that also just reaffirms my thesis on PayPal being yeah, a stagnant, slightly growing business in that regard when it comes to accounts. I mean, they have been trying to yeah, expand their business into several more countries, so there should be some growth seen. I hope for that for sure, but if we don't see it, if it's going down, that's not great, but it's not the most important figure, because to me that would probably indicate that it's just a short-term hit, short-term miss. And I'm very much focused on what they say on the PayPal future. They did mention some long-term growth goals. By now it feels almost unrealistic for them to hit those, but we'll see. I don't know. Very curious about how they see 2026. Will they increase the guidance? Will they lower it? Will they just maintain it? Maintaining and lowering it will be sort of a bad sign. If they increase it, that would be decent, but they have to do a bigger increase for us to be, for the investors to be really enticed, since the most important figure are the growth rates in the other businesses. Yeah, but as I said before, they've been almost silent on this entire matter. I'm going to be doing a very deep dive into the numbers, into the earnings call as well. Probably will make a video on it, but I can't really tell yet for sure. Might just work it out for myself, so we'll have to see about that. But I hope I can do one, that would be great. And then I think I will keep you guys updated tomorrow when we'll know more. Anyway, that's it for the video. As always, hit like, subscribe, comment your opinion on the stock, on the upcoming quarter results, and yeah, we will see how it plays out tomorrow. I think a big move is ahead, but never can say for sure. It's probably that PayPal will not move much. That's possible as well, but I think we'll likely see at least the 60s after a couple of days after the quarterly results, probably, but it really depends on what they say in that matter. It really depends on that, and if they keep up the attitude from past quarterly results, then the stock market will be very disappointed, because there was much more negative than there was positive, and that's always a bad sign, and yeah, leaves us to think this is actually a weak company. So yeah, that's it for the video, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed, and see you tomorrow or in the upcoming days, and goodbye.